मेरा नाम कबीर सिंह बाबा है ਅਤੇ मैं टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। सनी लियोनी ਨੂੰ कौन नहीं जानता, एक पॉर्न स्टार है। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ट्रिपल एक्स मूवियां ਅਸੀਂ ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਆ। हाँ सुनने में आया कि उन्होंने कुछ फिल्में कीतियां ने थे, पर सानू ट्रिपल एक्स फिल्में ज्यादा पसंद आती हैं। हम सुनने में आया कि उन्होंने वो सब फिल्में करनी छोड़ दी ने और दोबारा तो एक नॉर्मल लाइफ जी रही है। हम देखते हैं फिल्में में चंगा कर पाती है कि नहीं इतने इंडिया में।
There's only one cosmic entity that unites all heterosexual Indian males, and that is Sunny Leone. Former porn star has replaced cricket, politics, and religion as the new national obsession. In 2014, she was Google's most searched celebrity in India for the third year running. She also dominated every YouTube list and is still the most searched person on pornhub.com. My name is Nemo, and I'm a journalist for one of India's top web portals, India.com. I think Sunny Leone is amazing. When I was a little kid, the only reason I wanted a credit card was so I could watch her videos live. India came from the land of the Kama Sutra. We cared a lot about sex, but now we have imbibed 19th century Victorian morality as our own culture. We believe that what the British believed in the 19th century is what are traditional Indian values. Indian women are not supposed to talk about sex. Indians in general pretend there's no such thing. We have the second highest population in the world, but we pretend like no one's having sex. You don't even have sex education in school. In India, there are a lot of hot actresses. They wear skimpy clothes, but you can never go back home and see them naked. None of them have ever posed naked. And suddenly, here's an actress who is open about her porn career. You can actually see her sleeping with someone else. That's like the culmination of a childhood fantasy for most people.
I'm running a coal mining business in Indonesia, and I got into working very early when I was a graduate. I'm still continuing education. I'm going to Harvard right now, and Harvard Business School in Boston. Today was a youngsters' night, and Sunny Leone was dancing. That's why everybody's here. More than our youngsters' night, they're here because of Sunny Leone.
That's friends, friends of friends, friends of friends of friends. Everybody who's related to the friends and the cousins and the friends just to see her.
This is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. They want me, Sunny Leone, a freaking porn star, to dance and have a good time and be part of their celebration. It is insane. I'm not only on the videos on the other shelf, I'm also on the wedding shelf. I was born as Karanjit Kaur Bora. I was born in Sarnia, Ontario, and I lived there till I was about 13, 14 years old. I moved to the US, I moved to California, where I was kind of like the loner kid who tried to fit in, but didn't in Orange County because if anybody knows anything about California, it's a very difficult city to live in. So from there, I met an agent who said, you know, this is what I do. I walked into his office and he's got Penthouse, Hustler, Sherry, all these like different magazines on his wall. He didn't have to cajole me. He didn't have to force me, or he didn't have to do anything. I walked in there not knowing who he was. To be honest, I didn't know what Penthouse was when I walked in there. I'd never seen a Penthouse magazine. I'd never seen an adult magazine in my entire life. I was 18, turning 19. My first job with him was to shoot for a movie called NoAngels.com. And I turned into one of the No Angels. And I kissed his neck and his ear. And like slowly like inch my way to have him go inside me. And then just ride it. In my whole life, my parents have seen me naked when I was a baby. And one or two other people in my life have seen me totally naked. And that's where I shot one of my first nude scenes. And I thought about it and thought, well, this is so much money. I mean, at that time it was something like $10,000 to $15,000 for a week of work. and that's in US. And I thought, okay, well, how hard can this be? And I didn't think about my family. I didn't think about what was right or wrong to them. I didn't think what I was doing was wrong. I was making a living. This is more money than I could ever imagine that I would make all year long, working at a tax and retirement firm, working as a receptionist, and in the HR department, and the accounting department, and for one of the agents. My parents didn't have a lot of money. It's not that we were poor. That wasn't the case at all. But they definitely didn't give us what we wanted. So I was always trying to figure out, how am I gonna make money? How am I gonna figure out how to go to the store to buy candy? Both my parents were alive when I posed for Penthouse magazine as a cover centerfold. They didn't know about it because I pulled every local store around my house. I pulled all the magazines off the shelves and I bought them all.
My sister had called me on the phone, and she was all excited and telling me about everything that was going on. And she's like, "Oh my God, Penthouse!" and asked me what my stage name was gonna be. And she's like, "Don't laugh at me, don't be mad." And I was like, "No, what's your name? What could it possibly be?" And she's like, "My name is Sunny." And I was like, "What? What do you mean your name's Sunny?" "My name's Sunny." And she's like, "Well, I couldn't think of any other name." So that was the first thing that popped in my head, and I was like, "That's freaking cool. Why not? I don't mind." But then later on in life, you realize that being around her and then in the industry, everyone's saying Sunny, and I'm like, what?
I stole his name. I told him that I stole his name. My mother wasn't happy about it when she found out who I was. They're like, "Why did you have to pick that name? Why did you have to pick your brother's name?" I was like, "I don't know, I just picked it. I have no idea. I don't know why I picked his name. I guess I like it too."
First of all, just to make sure everybody knows, me and my sister are like this. Nothing separates us. We've always had that relationship. She showed me around, she introduced me to people, and she kind of always had my back.
When he was in college, the first few years, he's like, "I need to make a couple extra bucks so he signed some autographs so I can sell them at my fraternity." And I was like, "Okay, but don't take anything less than $10 to $15 of a signature."
So I just turned around and started selling them to people. Because my buddies would be like, "Oh my God, give me a copy of that," because I would have one. What I would purposely do is I'd put one on my wall in frame, right? And people are like, "Oh, please give it to me. I'll give you $20. I'll give you $20. Sure, have it. You're my best friend. Give me your $20. Next day, boop, another frame and another picture on the wall.
And I was like, "Okay, so you're making money off of me?" And I'd be like, "Okay, fine."
It was worth the visit.
I don't have butterflies in my stomach. I think I'm just excited. Just to show... I think I'm excited to show you everything. Because there's a part of my life you don't know. My parents applied for American citizenship before I was born. And around the age of probably 11, they finally got the paperwork in to say, "Here's your chance. You can become an American citizen." When we moved across the bridge, we lived in a one-bedroom apartment. We definitely took a downgrade in our lifestyle. We took a downgrade in how we live. When we moved to Southern California, we moved into a small little townhome. And my father and mother both died in this small little house. Where here, when we go to my house on Norfolk, it's a nice size family home. And there's my house. It looks so much smaller than what I... Down there. This was mine and Sunny's room, all down there. The TV, we weren't allowed to play upstairs because it was all white. My mother had an aversion to letting us play because she wanted everything to be spick and span. And on the other side was where my mom would cook food because, as you know, Indian food smells up the whole house. So she wanted the upstairs kitchen to be sparkling white. And the downstairs kitchen is where when Mom cooked and where we ate. Upstairs was for guests only. It's such a small garage. It's so tiny. It feels really cool to be here. Makes you miss my parents. Makes me miss my parents. I can't even ask them questions about certain little things that I would love to ask them questions about. Why did you pick this town? Why Sarnia? Why not? My dad's best buddy is in Toronto. Why didn't they stay in Toronto? Or his brother was in Toronto. Why did he not? The only thing that I can come up with is that my father was an engineer, and there's a lot of industrial type, places here. And he might have, had the opportunity to get a job faster for his family.
Love to winter storms, winter. In fact, when my husband and I, we were younger, we used to go walking out in the snowstorms. When she was born, I remember holding her in my arms, and such a lovely child, beautiful girl. To all of her, she was cuddled. The whole family was a joy to be with gentle, soft-spoken people. बहुत को आता है.
I believe that people here in Sarnia, the Indian community, do not want to talk to me or don't want anything to do with me because of my choices in life, because I chose to be a part of the adult industry. I think because of that, they just mentally cannot get past it. All of India, 1.2 billion people in India can get past it, but the people in Sarnia cannot.
Oh my! I did. Was I being recorded then? No, I wasn't. We were just talking. No. ਉਹਦੇ profession ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੀ.
I would assume that they're ashamed. They're ashamed, they're embarrassed, they can't get past the idea when they Googled my name, what they found, probably. Or maybe they just, maybe some of the men have Googled my name and found some things and maybe found it interesting. Who knows? Whatever floats your boat is fine with me. I don't really care. But the majority of those millions and millions of people would make me a part of their family in 1 second versus the people here who saw me grow up. Those people want nothing to do with me, but all of India would die to be a part of my family. For some reason, I have a switch in my brain that says, if you don't like me, I actually don't give a shit if you don't like me. I have a wonderful, beautiful life. Growing up, my family and I would always go to the Gurdwara, doing seva, doing so many different things. There's a hole in the flag that's up. My father made that. He made that and he helped plant it into the ground. I don't have a lot of memories of my dad that are still standing. This is one of them. It just makes me miss him so much. And I don't get to see him, so I tell him, Dad, I went back to Sarnia. I saw what you made. I saw. His life started here in Sarnia. And now they're not here, so it sucks. What to do? I'm gonna go now. Okay, but if I fall on my ass, don't make fun of me.
Back in action, okay.
You want to see my wall jump?
Only if you don't break your neck.
Take it back.
No.
Just take it back.
God bless you.
Just take it back.
In your ventures, go.
No, you have to take it back
Oh.
or I'm gonna break my neck.
Okay, don't break your neck.
No.
I meant, so do break your neck?
Don't say I take
What do you want me to say?
Just say I take it back.
I take it back.
Things that I remember the most was just having fun. You were a kid. There's no worries. I miss those things. I hope that one day when I have children that I'll be able to give them that much fun because it's never going to come back. I want them to just be kids. I got that in life. My husband is my everything. He's my mother, my father, my confidant, my best friend, my lover, my everything. Everything happens for a reason. I married the most amazing man. I would never, ever in a million years have met him here in Sarnia. I am so glad that I've left this small little town. And even though at the time, when you're 13, 14, I was devastated that I was leaving my friends, that I was leaving everything that I knew. But everything happens for a reason. I wasn't destined to stay here at all.
Sunny Leone's history, qua the press and qua her branding, she does two things. She always talks about her past and she always talks about her present in the form of her marriage. So she's not the available porn star. She's not the porn star who's messing around. She's very cleverly built for herself social acceptance through marriage. So when you have a woman who said, look, this is my past, but if Daniel Webber is willing to accept me as his wife, who the hell are you?
Tanked. And it didn't just tank, it sank like the fucking Titanic into the bottom of the ocean. People hated it, and they didn't go watch it.
The brand endorsements started to slow down, the calls, the movie calls, future movie calls, scripts, events, everything started to slow down. Like,
Falling on your face flat doesn't feel good at all. For me personally, it was really, really difficult because
I was like, okay, maybe we'll go to Brooklyn, I'll do my steel factory.
My factory is a family factory where there's multiple businesses in it. My father has a business, my brother has a business, and I have a steel fabrication business, and it's a huge factory.
I don't want to be done. I don't want to think of something else. This is what I want to do. February, the greatest song
Of the year.
and
Number one on the
that's in
charts.
print, came out called Baby Doll. And that song, I have goosebumps. That song changed my life.
Yeah, we knew something big was going to happen with the movie because the songs dictate the movie so much. We have started to play the game better now, which is we've been more aggressive with projects. She has 7 movies signed, TV shows signed, and it will keep the next year and a half, 2 years solidly busy. And that is the game.
Hitesh is a very, very special human being. I believe that Hitesh is such an amazing person because he's a reflection of his parents, which are amazing people. He's the one person that has my back no matter if I'm right or I'm wrong. He will kick and scream and fight for me, and I know he will. He's the one that stays up all night making sure my clothes are perfect.
मैं भी स्कूल भूल ना गया हूँ। सनी को मैसेज कर दिया, कपड़े ले लिए, ज्वेलरी ले ली, शॉपिंग आ रहा है।
He's a head chef at a restaurant, and he's never been judgmental about my decisions, ever. He was the first person I told when I posed for Penthouse magazine, and I don't know why I told him, maybe because I stole his name. I felt obligation.
She calls me up and she's like, I think I'm gonna get into the porn industry and, you know, whatnot. And I was like, and usually, of course, you're thinking that, you know, she's gonna be on camera having sex with some dude. And I was like, it's kind of gross. Like, I don't want to think about this.
He was like, okay, yeah, whatever you want to do is cool with me. Very relaxed, LA, California attitude.
A few months went by, but then all of a sudden she started getting more offers to do more and to do more. And then next thing you know, a year goes by and she wins Penthouse Pet of the Year. And that was one of the biggest days of her life, of my life. And then our parents kind of come in a couple of weeks later because, you know, she couldn't hide it. She couldn't hide it. Well, somebody in the family saw her on Howard Stern. All downhill from there.
I've known that I'm bisexual since I was about 13.
Right.
And just didn't put a label on it till I was about 21. We're both on our knees and we're both going down on him, and, you know, he obviously finishes off in both of our mouths, and it was so hot. I love watching two people have sex. I think it's one of the most erotic, sexy things.
And
that
even
I've
though you
ever
are
seen.
emotionally involved with this man, it does not, the jealousy thing doesn't come into play.
No, not at all. I'm like, bang her harder. Fuck that pussy fucking harder. Sorry.
The whole family knew in 24 hours, to the point that my sister had no choice. She's like, oh my God, so-and-so just called me and said they saw me on Howard Stern. And I was like, oh shit. You know, I was like, okay, what are we gonna do, Bob? What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? And she's like, I have to tell them. I don't have a choice.
My parents found out who I was when I told them, which is exactly how I wanted it to happen. It was when I won Penthouse Pet of the Year in 2003. And I think I had the worst stomach aches all week from anxiety.
My sister's shaking. I'm kind of like nervous. My hands are clammy. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go. She just lets it out. I'm in the adult entertainment industry. I didn't think it would lead to where I'm at now. And she started telling the whole story.
Mom, Dad, I won Penthouse Pet of the Year and I won $100,000. And I emphasized on the $100,000, hoping that it would sound like a lottery ticket. But my mother chimes in, like, you know, after a lot of silence, you were naked? I don't know how it registered, but it did. And then she started crying and crying and crying. And my father, you know, he's like, well, you obviously didn't consult us before you made this decision. The only thing that I can tell you is if whatever you're going to do in life, make sure that you are the best at what you do. And it wasn't on the emphasis of me taking my clothes off, because no father wants that at all. No parent wants that. It was that I think it was more on the lines of, you've made this decision, now own it and be successful. Don't get sick. Don't, you know, do things that hurt your body or hurt yourself. Or I think they were worried about drugs. I think they were worried. The idea of sex, we never talked about sex ever in my household, only that it was bad.
All she wanted was just their support. Not necessarily to the point you're asking for somebody their blessing, just support me in some fashion. I'm not asking you to like what I do, love what I do.
My mother was extremely devastated. She was hurt. She made me definitely feel horrible about the decision that I had made. And that's why I had to just come to that one thing and say, look, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. I'm not changing my mind. I don't regret it. And you need to just get over it.
Then you had the whole family they don't talk to her anymore. When my parents go over for dinner parties, that's what everybody wants to talk about. Drama, drama, drama. Your daughter does this, your daughter does that. So that didn't help. So the divide in the family started to occur, because then now my parents are shunned off as well.
Hello? Mrs. Danjao?
Yes.
We've been commissioned to do a documentary on your niece. We were looking for family to talk to now that she's one of the biggest stars in India.
I don't want to talk about it. Thank you.
When I posed for Penthouse magazine, the first one, the cover centerfold, I got a lot of hate mail saying, you're not Indian, you're not a woman, you are a disgrace to our culture, you're a disgrace to our religion, you're a disgrace to every Indian person. You're reading all these nasty things that people are saying about you, and at the age of 19, it's not fun. Nor did I want to go through that again, ever. So that was my Penthouse situation. That's why when Big Boss messaged us to be on the show, I immediately said no.
I said, we're not interested. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Well, got another email. Listen, this is a presentation of the show. So we opened the presentation, and in it says viewed by over 50 million people. And I was like, what? Viewed by over 50 million people? I go, how is it even possible?
Hello, Dunya. Welcome to Big Boss Season 5.
I spoke to them on the phone again. They said, you tell us what it's going to take to get her on the show. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's crazy.
So I turned to Daniel and I go, as a signing bonus, I want $100,000.
For us at the time, it was like
that
a lot of money.
That was insane amount of
For
money.
us, yeah.
Insane.
We had nothing.
I don't care who you are in life, but that's a lot of money.
We were doing a big show called Big Boss, which is an Indian version of Big Brother, and it does very well. And I think one of the names that was shortlisted and they had paid for as one of the contestants was Sunny Leone. And for whatever reason, the team developed cold feet and decided not to get her in. And we were sitting in a creative meeting and we were shortlisting new names. And one of the creative person told me, Raj, there's this person in the US and we paid her money, but we're not bringing her. I said, we paid her money, we paid her and not bringing her, why are we not doing that? And they said, she's a porn star. So I said, so what? Who are we to judge about anybody? And I said, are we going to show porn on television? They said, no. I said, are we going to show any nudity on television? They said, no. I said, are we going to do anything that breaks the law of this country? They said, no. I said, well, where's the problem? 2 days later, I got an SMS message saying, Sunny landing tomorrow night, media activated, everything under control. I've forgotten who is Sunny. So I said, who's Sunny? Because I've forgotten the name, right? And he said, Sunny Leone, the porn star. I said, okay, great. And then I Googled. And then I froze for a few seconds. I realized the magnitude of what was going to happen, what I had unleashed.
Credit to get Sunny into Bollywood should actually be given to my daughter Pooja Bhatt, because it was she who kind of had the vision to cast her. Sunny had made a foray into the Indian landscape with The Big Boss, and The Big Boss had suddenly become the talking point of the so-called decent middle-class homes. We're now talking about this porn star who was actually very beautiful and very pretty, and she was just like us.
Pooja had called me and said, we've been wanting to cast Sunny Leone for a movie, and can you tell us when does she get out of the house? So I dialed Mr. Mahesh, but then and there, and I said, what's up? You wanted to cast this girl. Would you go into the house and interact with her? But the only difference is you'll be on camera. He said, can I do that? I said, yeah, you can do that. I'm the CEO of the company. I can do anything.
But when I went to meet her, I found her very vulnerable. And there was a little scared girl in her. In fact, shy. Yes, you can be a porn star and still be shy.
Rest is history. Mr. Mahesh Bhatt went inside the house. It also brought respectability to the show, and it brought respectability to Sunny Leone, because suddenly you had one of India's biggest, most well-known film director going and making her an offer on live television inside the house.
Woo! Louder! Try barking.
Barking.
No, that's not a good dog. Louder.
In life, and it's not true for Sunny Leone alone, for everybody, when you have success, everything is forgotten. That's reality.
She has succeeded, according to me. Of course, we all have miles to go. And I think you will see her in the front rows of the entertainment world for a long time to come. The only person who can write the obituary of Sunny Leone is Sunny Leone herself. India has opened its arms and embraced her.
If you haven't seen her YouTubes, please see them. Please see them. It's obnoxious. Sunny Leone has enacted very nude scenes which do not behove a human being, not a woman or a man at all. I can imagine an animal doing it, because animal has no sense of right and wrong. To a huge extent, currently being revealed, pornography today is emerging as one of the catalyst or a trigger for rapists. My concern is the impact such pornographic acts have on society. And somebody else is the victim who's had no role in this. So the victim is invisible, but the victim is certain.
I know that a lot of fingers get pointed at me here in India when these cases happen, and it's absolutely disheartening and ridiculous in every way. Rape has been going on for centuries. It didn't get created when I got created. It was created before the internet. It was created before adult material was on the internet. Rape started centuries ago. Get it together. Like, it's something that's been going on for so freaking long. It's just now in your face because of the internet, because of television, because of people reporting it. I am not to blame for that. Pornography is not to blame for that. It's not my fault. Stop freaking blaming me.
एक स्टार है जो हम सब यहाँ पर बैठे जो हम सब बनना चाहते हैं स्टार. We are very lucky that we dance beside of her, but we also want to take that position. ठीक है, उसके पास सब कुछ है, उसके पास fans following है, घर है, गाड़ी है, बंगला है, एक प्यारा सा husband है, अच्छी family life है. She gets everything.
Nah, even I can go to any extent to become a Sunny Leone. Husband भी चोरी कर लूँगी.
Yeah, I think I can go to any extent to become Sunny Leone.
An X-rated film is a movie with hardcore sex. Our movies are very couples-oriented, but there's always sex because that's what we do. Vivid Entertainment is an adult, a production company, so all of our content is X-rated. In 2005, Sunny came to Vivid. She had a meeting with Steven, who's one of the owners of the company, and she was unlike any of the other girls that we talked to. She came prepared. She had a portfolio. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she was worth. She knew she had a career path. At the time, she was working with girls, and she loved girls, and she wanted to be in the movies. Steve and I actually have talked about this. She was so beautiful.
Vikant, who's the director of the film, and his first question to me was, "Are you fine working with Sunny?" So I said, "Yeah, why not? As in, I don't have a problem." He said, "No, because most people have." See, my only restriction in films is kissing on screen. That's one thing which I think that's too intimate.
The industry are calling me, you can send me on board. Literally. That means you can carry a film on own. They want to come here to Rajasthan, they'll be shooting with the bags of money. Can we sign? I said, no, you can't.
I fit in with my fans. My fans have been really supportive. My fans love me. They've been with me for the last 14 years of my life. They've watched me grow as a person. They've watched me grow as an actor, as an entertainer. But as far as the film fraternity goes, I'm not really part of it. I think that they're very curious. They all want to know, who's this Sunny? What's she all about? She's the, you know, she's this, she's that, you know, every name under the sun they've called me, whatever it is. But I'm not a part of their group. Today's the whole princess look. I'm so excited. I won't be looking like this, but I'll be looking like a princess. I don't know what my legacy would be. I don't look at myself and go, oh my gosh, I'm the greatest actress or dancer or even an adult. But one thing that I was good at was turning a quarter into $1. My theory was that if I'm going to take my clothes off for the world to see, then I want to make every single penny. Why should anybody else? That's what I was good at doing. If one day I had a little girl or a little boy and they came home from school and said, Mommy, Daddy, this kid's from school told me who you are, is it true? I think I would just say the truth. Mommy made some choices in life that were her choices and decisions that made sense to her, which were to be, if they brought up the idea of adult, which would be to, you know, I don't know, I'm so confused, I have no idea. I don't even know. The individual that I would raise in, I don't know. This is such a hard question. I have no idea. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to begin, maybe. I don't know where to begin now. And I don't even have a child.